Shalom, shalom, Yasharala. It's your brother Yeshua lines up. And I want to say, call halal to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shah, his begotten Son, the King of the Jews, and the Savior of Yasharala only. And I want to give all homage to my elders who's pushing this truth from all camps before my time. And I want to give another all homage to all my brothers and sisters who are pushing this truth in these last days in great boldness. Shalom. Today I got a little breakdown on Isaiah 28 and about precept upon precept, line upon line. Because a lot of people who think that you're supposed to read the Bible like a novel, but you're supposed to read the Bible precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, some from the Old Testament, some from the Apocrypha, and some from the New Testament, and you link the scriptures up to get the true understanding of what Yahweh was trying to bring to the prophets, so we can get to understand these last days. So through the precepts, we get understanding. So that's a little lesson I got is on Isaiah 28 about precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. So we're going to get started. Bear with me, Israel, for a second. And the first verse we'll go to is Proverbs 4 and 7. This is the book of Proverbs 4 and 7. It says, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all that get understanding." So in the Bible, in the scriptures, the Holy Scriptures, wisdom is the principal thing. And therefore get wisdom, and with all that get understanding. So when you read the scriptures, you try to get understanding through the Spirit, through the Ruach Hakodesh, the Holy Spirit. You want to get understanding, so you can understand what Yahweh was telling the prophets, and the prophets was writing down for our learning, so you can get understanding, so you can understand the scriptures and get the breakdown. Because a lot of people, they just read the Bible like a novel and don't have the wisdom or the principal thing in their understanding. And that's the reason why they be confounded about a lot of scriptures and don't understand the Bible. Think the Bible's man-made or a fake or a fairy tale and things like that, because they don't have the principal thing to understand the scriptures and how to read the scriptures and properly read the scriptures and get the understanding of what, because the Most High, He made the Bible like a jigsaw puzzle, and the Bible deals with secrets and codes, and it takes the Ruach HaKodesh to have eyes to see and ears to hear to understand the scriptures by the way you break it down. That's why a lot of organized religions are failing our people, because they're not reading the Bible precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. They're not getting the principal thing, wisdom and understanding. So next we'll go to Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9. And it reads, "Whom shall He teach knowledge? Whom shall He make to understand doctrine?" So this is a question that Most High is asking, who He's going to teach to understand doctrine. It's going to be the elect in the last days, because the prophets didn't understand the vision that they were seeing. So that's the reason why it was the Most High did the scriptures like a jigsaw puzzle for you to put together. If you're wise enough, if you have the understanding from the Most High, if you're blessed to get the understanding, it says, "Whom shall He teach knowledge, and whom shall He make to understand the doctrine in the last days? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast." Verse 10, "For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little." So what that means, you get one Bible scripture and you link it up. And you get something from the Old Testament, you get something from the New Testament, and you get something from the Apocrypha. Because a lot of people, when I see our brothers out there street preaching or breaking down the scripture, they think we're cherry picking. But that's how you're supposed to read the scriptures to get understanding. If you read like a novel, you'll be confounded. But you got to link it up to scriptures to get the broad understanding. Verse 11, "With stammering lips and another tongue will He speak to His people. Yahweh scatters on the four corners of the earth." Our ancestors spoke Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon Kadash. We didn't speak Spanish and English and etc. like that. We didn't speak that. So the Most High used King James and raised him up for him to translate the King James Bible in 1611 from the Greek and the Hebrew. And he used Hebrew scholars, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Americans, to translate the Bible, the Holy Scriptures, to the 16 King James. So it says, for with stammering lips, English or other languages, other than the Hebrew, because the Hebrew, our people, we're disconnected from our heritage. We don't truly know the Lashon Kodash, the holy tongue, the Hebrew language, the Paleo Hebrew. So with stammering lips and another tongue would he speak to his people. To whom he said, this is the rest. The rest is understanding the scriptures, and by doing the law, statutes, and covenants, and coming back to Yahweh Shah. That's the rest. Wherewith you may cause the weary to rest, because the so-called black man, Native American, Hispanic, the Hebrew Israelites, we're weary from all this false philosophy, for all this persecution. So we're weary. And it's going to bring it to rest, because once we understand who we are, we're going to wait patiently for Yahweh Shai. He's going to redeem us from this weary state. And this is a refreshing, because when you get the law, statutes, and covenant, you're going to be refreshed. Yet they will not hear, because a lot of people, the Israelites, they don't want to hear the Bible. They don't believe in it. They don't believe in their power, the Allahayim. They don't want correction. Verse 13, but the word of the Lord was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backwards. The reason why Yahweh said you might go and fall backwards, because if you're not reading the Bible correctly, you're going to fall backwards. You're not going to understand the Bible. You're not going to be breaking it down properly. And be broken, snared, and taken. You're going to be taken by false philosophies. And you're going to be snared, because it's going to be a stumbling block to you. Like these Islam, Christianity, and being Catholic, and Mormon, and all type of these idolatry, Egyptology, all these type of these false doctrines, you're going to be snared and taken. So that's what the Most High prophesied to Isaiah, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. And some from the Old Testament, Apocrypha, and New Testament, and you link it up like a puzzle. And that's how you get the true understanding. If not, you're going to fall backwards, be broken and snared. So next, with that, now I'm about to go precept upon precept to really show and break down to get the true understanding of the secrets in the scriptures. And next, we're going to go to Psalms 104 and 104. Shalakia. Psalms 119 and 104. And it reads, through thy precepts I get understanding. Because when you break it down line upon line, here a little, there a little, you get understanding. Through the precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. What's the false way? Christianity, Islam, Egyptianology. What else? Like this world philosophy. That's the false way. The true way, the only way, is through Yahweh Shai, and He's gonna bring you back to the Father by keeping the law, statutes, and covenant. Come back to your nationality. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. Now we go to verse 28. 128. Psalms 119, 128. Therefore I esteem all thy precepts concerning all the things to be right, and I hate every false way. By doing the precepts, by reading it, the scriptures, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, the thing's going to be right. And David said, I hate every false way, because if you're not reading it or understanding the Bible that way, you're not going to understand it. It's going to be a false way. You're going to be snared and taken to all this type of doctrines of these devils. So therefore I esteem all thy precepts. So David said, I esteem like this is the way of how you understand what Yahweh was trying to speak to you. Therefore I esteem all thy precepts concerning all the things to be right, and I hate every false way. Next is we go to 110, same chapter, 110. The wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I erred not from thy precepts. So the so-called white man, all this Esau, Ishmael, Ham, Amalek, they have tampered with the Bible and tampered with so much and try to sell our nationality. And the wicked have laid a snare. They laid a snare for us by taking our nationality away from us and just thinking that we was nothing and trying to hide our identity and trying to take the Bible from us and not for us to, like back in slave days, not for us to read it, or also setting up these pastors and these religions who read the Bible like a novel or just give their own interpretation of it. The wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I erred not from thy precepts. The elect are not going to error from the precepts. They're not, because once Yahweh sent the Spirit down, the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, we understood the precepts and how to read the holy writings for us to get to learn in the last days. It says the wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I erred not from thy precepts. Next we're going to go to Psalms 134. No, Psalms 119, 134. Deliver me from the oppression of man, so will I keep thy precepts. So it says, deliver me from oppression of man, who was at Esau in his captivity. We are oppressed. The so-called Negro, Hispanic, Native Americans, we are oppressed of the man, of these heathens. So will I keep thy precepts. Even in captivity, I'm still gonna keep the precepts because I got the oil and understanding of how to read the Holy Scriptures. Next is same chapter 163. Because David really goes in how important it is the precepts. Actually, we go to 173. 173 Shalakia. Let thy hand help me, for I have chosen thy precepts. So right, David said, let thy hand, the hand of the Ruach HaKodesh, Yahweh, guide you to understand the scriptures. Let thy hand help me, for I have chosen thy precepts. Now I'm going to go to verse 45, same chapter, Psalms 119. And I will walk at liberty, for I seek thy precepts. So you're going to be in a walk with the Most High by keeping these law, statutes, and covenants. Come back to your nationality and have the faith of Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shah? And I will walk at the liberty, and for I seek thy precepts. Seeking the precepts and understanding. Verse 63. I am a companion of all them that fear thee, and of them that keep thy precepts. So David said, if I'm part of the hope of the elect, I'm a part of the companion of them that fear the Most High, and that them that keep thy precepts. Because the elect men would keep thy precepts. That's the reason why we get to break down understanding. Only the Israelite men get this true breakdown understanding to go out there and teach. And also the women will get the understanding of the scriptures. But for the men to teach, we teach by breaking down precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Verse 94. I am thine, save me, for I have sought thy precepts. So what David was saying, save me, like when Yahweh comes to save us by keeping these law, statutes, and commandments and covenant, and keeping these precepts and understanding, breaking the scriptures down to get the understanding, to be hopefully sealed, and to endure to the end to be saved. I am thine, and save me, for I have sought thy precepts. Verse 168. I have kept thy precepts and thy testimony, for all my ways are before thee. So David said, I have kept thy precepts and thy testimony, for all my ways are before thee. Next is 141. I am small and despised, because the elect, we're a small remnant, and they're despised because we're not standing up in great boldness right now, because people think that we're going off thinking we don't know the scriptures, because I'll be reading the precept upon precept, line upon line, coming back to our nationality, telling the world that we're the Israelites, the Hebrews, proved in the Bible. They think we're despised because of that. We're hated. We're hated for that. Hated by our family, friends, these other false religions. They think that we are misinterpreting the scriptures or leaning on our own understanding. And so I am small and despised, yet do I not forget thy precepts. But we're not going to forget thy precepts because we know it's the truth. We know it's the way. We know it's the way. So next we're going to go to 2 Ezra chapter 3 and 32. Or is there any other people that know of thee besides Israel? Only people that Yahweh, Allahim Yasharallah knows is Yasharallah, the so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native American, Semi-Indian. These are the only people that the Most High is dealing with, period. Or what generation have so believed that covenant as Jacob? And yet the reward appeared not, and their labor have no fruit. Because it seems right now we're going through so much persecution, but us laboring, we're going to eventually get fruit when Yahweh Shai gets here and redeem us. We have gone here and there through the heathens. The Most High has went through the heathens, and let's see what the Most High has found. He said, I went through the heathens, for I've gone here and there through the heathens, and I see that they flow in wealth. These other nations are filthy rich. Filthy rich. They're not in the slums, ghettos, poor, uneducated, not knowing nationality, cursed people. They flow in wealth. And they think not upon thy commandments. These other nations don't think upon the commandments. They don't even consider them. And they're not even worried about what the Most High wants them to do. So because they're flowing in wealth. And think not upon thy commandments. Weigh thy therefore our wickedness now in the balance. And there also that dwell in the world. And so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. Because Yahweh's name, Yah's name only in Israel. Only in Israel. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Verse 36, thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but the heathen, but the Shalaki, but not the heathen. Because the Israelites in the last day are going to wake up and keep these precepts. But the heathens, regardless of whatever, they're not, because they're flowing in wealth and they're not considering the commandments. Just like the 2/3, they're not considering the commandments because they're caught up in this wealth of this world. And that's why they're going to be falling backwards because they're not reading the Bible, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Because the Most High said he went through the heathens, he didn't find nobody. Only people he's dealing with is Israel. How you get to understand precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Some from the Old Testament, some from the New Testament, some from the Apocrypha. You got to link it up like a puzzle. Take it to understand. If not, you will be broken and snared and taken by false philosophy, and taken by the devil, Hasatan, the adversary. So that's a little breakdown from your brother Yeshai, Alliance Wealth. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All praise to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Give all homage to my elders who pushing this truth in all camps around the world. And all homage to my brothers and sisters who pushing this truth in these last days as bold as a lion. It's your brother Yeshai. All praises. Shalom.